Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's time to have a look at the season challenges for the Battle Pass. Good old Season 14 is upon us, the Airborne General one, and so are the challenges, so why not have a look at them and see what's going on. As always, I'll stick them on the screen and we can talk about them. A lot of them are really not too bad. I would actually say this set of challenges is pretty good compared to many others, so hopefully we can all get them done. Let's get into it. The first one is Fire Contact, and all you have to do is destroy the specified number of player vehicles, 150 in 3 weeks. This one isn't too bad. Basically, you just turn up and shoot stuff. If you're already doing your dailies and specials, you get this one done anyway. One of the things I would note is remember when it comes to these Battle Pass missions or challenges, you do need rank 3s or higher. So just make sure to do that. But if you're doing the dailies and specials, you'll be doing that anyway, so it's not really a huge deal. The next one is All-American Division, and this is win a specified number of battles in US vehicles. You need to win 40 battles in 3 weeks. I usually don't like these types of challenges because it focuses the meta around a specific nation, but if you haven't noticed, America is already pretty much focused around, especially when it comes to aviation and naval, so you can use any game mode and play this. America is very good at pretty much each rank. There isn't really an area where they're struggling. I know a lot of people talk about top tier and America suffering and all of that stuff, which, you know, we can go into, but at the end of the day, you've got 3 weeks to get 40 wins with this nation. You'll be able to do it. It's not too hard to do. And if you're struggling with it, just play aviation at, you know, the decently high echelons of jets, and you'll easily get a 60-65% win rate, even if you're facing other American players. Then the next one is Air Support. Now this is the first one, which is a little bit dodgy. You have to destroy a specified number of player vehicles using unguided rockets of various masses, or less than 40 kilos and more than 40 kilos. And you have to destroy 5 vehicles each. So this less than 40 kilo, more than 40 kilo thing, we actually had a rocket challenge that was like this, and it was a lot harsher on it. So less than 40 kilos, there's a decent amount of stuff that is less than 40 kilos. The main ones is the SNEBs, and then also the S5Ks, which are super low in mass. You can also do some other stuff, such as the T10s, for example. The major ones you can't do is stuff like the HVARs, the RP3s, or, you know, the Tiny Tims, things like that. So if you want to do this efficiently, I would highly recommend playing France with the F4U7, so you can have the 114 SNEB rockets. Also, you can bring along stuff like the AD4 for France, which has the T10s, which are around about 28 kilos. This is obviously for the lower amount. Remember, if you play mid-tiers and use these types of vehicles, you can actually donk on AAs, which are open-topped, and rockets will overpressure them. If you want an extra additional challenge, this is the vehicle I used last time to get this done, the IL-28SH. Basically, it has 192 S5K rockets, so you can just spam them at an area after, you know, getting into it and then hammering something, and that worked very well. For higher than 40 kilos, there's a lot of standard rockets which have access to this. So, for example, as I said, the HVAR is a 62.8 kilo rocket, so that is something that you can do. Also, stuff like the Tiny Tims, as we talked about, and the RP3s are there as well. A lot of these don't have great penetration, but they do have pretty decent explosive mass, so as long as you land them near light vehicles or even open-top vehicles, you'll destroy them pretty easily. I would say, if you're going to do this, obviously in ground battles or naval battles, ground battles at mid-tier is probably the easiest, especially with a lot of AAs at the moment, which are pretty much just trucks. You can just land a rocket near them and they will just die. The next one is called Only Forward, and it's win the specified number of battles whilst destroying at least 3 enemy vehicles in each battle. You have to do it in 15 battles, so overall, over 3 weeks, you just need basically the same as what you were doing before, just kind of win battles. Eventually, you'll be able to get, 3 enemies destroyed in a battle and get the win. If you want an easier area to do it, Air Arcade, since there's a ton of respawns in that one. Naval, especially at the lower echelons, usually are quite kill heavy. And of course, Ground Realistic as well is one of those where there's a decent amount on offer. So I would probably go for those, and shouldn't be too much of an issue. The next one is Thunder from Heaven, and this is destroy a specified number of player vehicles using an ammunition belt for stealth attack. Now, this is obviously for aviation, since I don't think any other mode is able to actually use stealth belts. So you are limited in the areas that you can go. Obviously, you can bring aviation vehicles into any of the game modes. What I would say about stealth kind of belts, usually they do have decent amounts of penetration, so if you want to use it in ground, you can do, but the easiest place to do this, and the easiest place to get the 25 kills, is of course in Air Arcade. So you get the marker, so it's easier to aim. You also, at the same time, are able to kind of lead shots pretty easily with it, and there's a ton of kills on offer because people spawn so much. So why not just load up a mid-tier American lineup or a mid-tier British lineup, stick stealth on the cannons or just the standard guns, and then go ham. The next one is Surrounded. Destroy a specified number of player vehicles of each type, so airplane, helicopter, ground vehicles, blue water, and coastal fleet. This is 3 vehicles each. I really don't like these types of ones. I think these are some of the tougher challenges because it's hoping that the enemy is in separate vehicles compared to you. And also, with helicopters in the mix, you're going to have at least, 8083 with specific nations to be able to deal with the helicopters coming in. And that is kind of annoying. So that's something, if you don't have, you need to work towards. So blue water and coastal, obviously you can just do it in the standard game modes. A lot of coastal vehicles are pretty low in BR, but also high in rank. So for example, for Britain, you have a coastal fleet at rank 3 of 2.3 in realistic, and I believe it's maybe 2.7 in arcade, or at least close to. No, it's still 2.3 in arcade actually. So you can run a 2.3 lineup, meaning that you stay away from destroyers. Apart from, I think there's 1 or 2 3.3 destroyers in the game, which are British too. So yeah, you can play those lineups at rank 3 and be able to do the coastal stuff. Obviously, blue water stuff, it's just about getting to rank 3 with different blue water vehicles. There's plenty of people playing those areas, which is fine. And airplanes, there are, obviously, you can just get into airplanes and play the air modes to do it, or you can play some AA stuff, which is fine. Ground vehicles is okay too. Helicopters is going to be a bit of the issue. So helicopters are something that is decently apparent around specific BRs, so you don't really have to worry, especially above, 9.0 you'll run into them. But if you want, you can just get in a plane, go low to the ground, so you stay away from AAs, and then you can just kind of go near the helicopter helipads, and you'll hear the helicopters when they're taking off or when they're near them, and you can get them then. The other area you can also do this actually is in Ground Arcade. You can get specific maps which are designed for helicopters kill streaks, so you can just kind of pop in an AA and then destroy helicopters there. The next one is Paramarines Attack, and this is destroy a specified number of player vehicles using a blue water ship torpedo. So you have to destroy 7 vehicles, which isn't a ton. The nation that I would focus on if I wanted to get this done quickly is actually Japan. Japan has a bunch of different vehicles, but unfortunately a lot of them are at rank 2 with their torpedoes, the good old fast ones, which are really nice. But one of the machines which is a little bit higher in rank and BR is the Shimakaze. The Shimakaze is a squadron vehicle, which probably if you start researching now, you'll be able to at least get close to while this challenge is going on. And it has 15 of the 610mm Type 93 torpedoes, the Long Lancers. These are fantastic in naval, and if you go into arcade, you get torpedo reloads. So all you have to do is kind of sit there, just, you know, on the edge of everything, and just keep throwing those over and over and over again. There's a bunch of other vehicles which also have these torpedoes around the BR. You have, of course, the Hatsuzuki, if you got that from War Thunder Mobile, the Udachi from Operation Heat, and also the Kiyoshimo, which is an old premium. The Hatsuharu doesn't have them, but it has pretty decent ones and quite a lot of them. And then you also have the Yugamo, which does have the Type 93s. The only problem with it is it's rank 2, and I don't know if it'll count. So this is just a Shimakaze machine. Also, at the same time, you know, you do have a decent amount of torpedoes from other areas, but Japan is the way to go. The next one is Screaming Eagles, and that's just receive a number or specified number of mission points where vehicles of the current season of the Battle Pass were used. So remember, you don't actually have to use them. If you want to, you can just have them in your lineup, you can click to spawn them, and then just play something else. The game thinks that you've played it, so if you're not really into the vehicles, you can do that. You can also do this with everything else, by the way. So for Page of History events, for example, if you don't want to play a specific vehicle but it's in the Page of History, you can just click to spawn it and then not spawn it and spawn something else, and the game counts it as spawned. So that kind of works. Now, the Battle Pass vehicles this time seem pretty good, so I wouldn't really be too worried about getting this done. Obviously, any of them work. I'm probably going to do it with the French vehicle, but whichever one you're comfortable with, just go for that one. Forward Patrol is the next one, and you have to destroy a specified number of player vehicles using a light tank, and this is 50 vehicles. Now, light tanks usually aren't designed just for killing stuff, but most of them can do pretty effectively. There is plenty of vehicles in the game which have a ton of firepower at their BRs to be able to, you know, go on to the next step. For example, if you want an easy one, the Japanese Chaffee at rank 3 can do it very effectively, but you also have the Hellcat for the Chinese and also for the Americans, and you also have a ton of very high tier ones for many different nations which are very good at tank killing and all of that stuff. Recently I just did the 2S25, which was really nice, but usually we want to go a little bit lower BR to be able to do these more efficiently, so the lower BR usually the better at the end of the day. So just pick your favorite light tank and go ahead with it. The Concept 3 is another one which is super fun to play. Definitely one to have a look at, and once again, stuff like the Chaffee for the Italians or the Hellcat for the Italians either, or even just the Orbals, the CLs. Italy actually has a ton of really good light tanks, so if you're looking for a tech tree where you do actually enjoy light tanks, the Italians is the way to go, because at pretty much every BR range you do have at least one or two pretty cool ones. Geronimo is here, and it's destroy a specified number of player vehicles while controlling vehicles of 4 different ranks, from ranks 3 to 8. So you have to destroy 4 vehicles each in each of the ranks. This is kind of a new type of challenge, so you need to at least have, if it's from rank 3, you need to have at least rank 3, 4, 5, and 6 unlocked for at least one nation to be able to complete this challenge. So if you don't have that by the time that this mission rolls around, then you're going to struggle because you need a rank 6 vehicle. Now this could include event vehicles if you want, but it's usually better to have slightly better choice. Also, just as a general rule, it's easier to grind aviation than it is the other areas, so if you are struggling for a rank 6 vehicle, that would be the place to go. So yeah, you have a little bit of kind of flexibility with this one, but this one is, you know, you do have to kind of plan ahead. It is only destroy 4 vehicles of, you know, the enemy, which isn't a lot, so this is just more having the specific ranks ready to go. The last timed one is Bald Eagle, and it's destroy 3 player vehicles without losing your own while driving a strike aircraft a specified number of times. So you have to do that 10 times. Now the easiest place to do this is ground realistic, because you get into strike aircraft, and those strike aircraft usually have, multiple bomb drops, so maybe they have 1 or 2 bomb drops, and they can also dogfight. Stuff like the IL-10 is great for this, the IL-2, the Mauler, the AM-1, the AD-2, the AD-4, and also the IL-8, which is coming in this Battle Pass for free, which is, you should have unlocked by the time you do the Bald Eagle challenge, and obviously this challenge is more designed around that one, so that is, something to focus on. But usually a lot of the strike aircraft, which are good, around the mid-tiers, in America, are in also Russia, so both of those are areas to grind out. Shouldn't be too much of an issue, and as I said, at the end of the day, if you use the IL-8, that gives you 2 500 kilo bomb drops, plus weaponry to be able to nuke a ground vehicle or nuke an air vehicle, so as long as you just play that enough, it should be alright. Use a light tank to get into it quickly, and then take advantage. Shouldn't be too bad. Then we have the seasonal challenges, which you unlock at specific periods of the Battle Pass. So the first one, for example, which is Capture and Hold, you unlock on level 21 of the Battle Pass. So once you have access to that challenge, you are able to do it until the end of the season. Now, Capture and Hold is win a specific number of battles while destroying at least one other player's vehicle and capturing 1 point. So this is easiest to do in ground realistic or naval arcade. For me, ground realistic is probably the way to go, just because there's usually a few more kills on offer, and also naval has a few issues when it comes to capturing points and also its matchmaking. It's 25 battles, so you'll be able to do this while also doing a lot of the other challenges. I wouldn't really worry about it too much. The next one is Rendezvous with Destiny, and this one you get at level 40, and it's play the specified number of battles whilst being ranked first in a team. So this one is 25 battles once again, and is quite a lot harder than the other set, right? Now, there is ways that you can kind of fudge this, whether you play like strike aircraft in the mid-tier and go after the AIs and, take them all out, or, you have your kind of comfort lineups that you go towards, or you play naval in certain brackets and obviously play stuff like the SKR-7, for example. So there's a ton of ways that you're able to do this and just play the power vehicles. But at the end of the day, as long as you unlock this challenge early enough in the Battle Pass, and if you're focusing on the Battle Pass and playing rank 3 and higher, you'll be able to do this without really even thinking. And that's the thing about these seasonal challenges this time. They're all really about not thinking too much and just playing the game, which is quite good. So a lot better than previous ones, which are more specified around specific areas. The last one is unlocked at level 60 of the Battle Pass, and it's Lunging Strike. And this one is destroyed 2 player vehicles in 15 seconds, the specified number of times. And the specified number is 15 times. So this one shouldn't be too bad. Overall, I've never actually had an issue with this challenge. I feel like it's just one of those, as long as you don't use donkey vehicles and you use vehicles with proper reloads, you'll have enough instances in the game where you'll have 2 players line up, or you'll have 2 things happen at the same time. Another way to do this quite effectively is actually to use CAS aircraft. So if you have aircraft like the P-47 or the IL-8 or the AD-2, which have separate bomb drops for their different things, you can line up 2 people very quickly, or even 2 people after doing a turn, and that will be in your 15 seconds. So if you're struggling to do it on the ground or even in naval, just focus on doing it from the air, and you'll have a great time with it, and it'll work out really well. The last challenge is Medal of Honor, and of course it's a little bonus, so it's complete all the season's challenges, and if you complete them, you get an extra 4.5 levels of the Battle Pass. I honestly think, looking at this set of challenges, they're pretty simple. Like there really isn't any that need a ton of figuring out. The rocket one slightly, but the main one is just making sure you have, a decent amount of ranked vehicles to be able to go after different stuff. So I honestly think this one ain't too bad. I like this set of challenges. I think it'll work very well kind of going forward, and I'm looking forward as well to doing this battle pass just because it's the first of the year and had a bit of a break from War Thunder, playing some other things and just kind of chilled on that fact. So overall, it's nice to get through it again. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it, and if there are any specific challenges that people are struggling with, I'll make individual videos about them as we go along. As always, look after yourselves, peace be with you, and I'll see you next time. I'd like to thank Schnitzel Stroker, Brendan Quinn, Vilneus, Character Fuel, Carrion Crow, Nicholas Richardson, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, B. Young, Opium Prime, Masonocrat, Lafouche, Alan Hacker, Sem Arslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.